Alright, we're in the Elite Classic 4 tournament hosted by EGC here, Age of Empires 4. And we got Wham versus Marine Lord. Wham in the pink here, playing as the Holy Roman Empire. We are playing on Lakeside. This is a very unique map. Look at this. Oh man, this is like one of the old school maps, kind of. And with Wham in the red, playing as the Order of the Dragon. So yeah, very unique map. You don't really see this, on ladder or is this a ladder map? I don't even know. You guys gotta skip me. Play a very unique map, and probably have seen this in very few tournaments. So yeah, there's this natural cliff here. Let's look at this map here. They've got this big natural cliff. Obviously can't build a dock on it. You can go here, build a dock. There's one deep fish here. Deep fish gathers a lot quicker than shoreline fish, so that's you always want to try to go for deep fish if you can. And then there's a good number of shore fish here. So you got one villager building in the very corner, close to that deep fish. And it looks like Wham is doing the same exact thing. Both players have mirrored like one deep fish very close to their dock. And then a few shoreline spots, a few shoreline fish. But then that's it. That's really it. It's just those. There's a couple of shoreline fish here, just two. And then yeah, both players having two shoreline fishes here. So yeah, very unique map. Obviously, like water is a big part of the map. It takes up a big part of the map, but there's very little fish. So some players might be watching this and thinking, why are they going on water? Why are they building fishing boats if there's like 5 fishing spots in this entire lake? And well, the reason is because early fishing is just extremely good. You want to think of a dock as essentially a second town center, right? You train villagers from TCs, and TCs are very good because you just get more. Your economy just becomes better, right? You get more villagers, your resources come in quicker. But you can't build a town center in H1, right? You can build TC in H2, but even it's a big investment to build this town center even in the second H because it's 700 res. So that's a big investment, right? It's going to take a while for that ROI, that return on investment, right? But a dock is essentially a second TC, and you can build it at the start of the game in H1. And it's not 700 resources. A dock is only, where was a dock here? Was 150, right? Why am I blind? I'm full blind. What is happening? Or maybe I'm on the wrong UI? What is happening here? Yeah, I think it wasn't showing up because it wasn't. Oh, I'm blind. A dock is 150 res. And for most civs, some civs it's slightly cheaper. But anyways, yeah, so you're essentially building a second TC for only 150 res. Very small investment. And you can build it at like the 1 minute marker immediately. And now you're training villagers, essentially, fishing boats, aka villas, essentially kind of the same thing. And now these villagers are getting trained at the 1 minute mark, 130, and you essentially have 2 TCs at 1 minute and 30 seconds. So that's why docks are so strong, because it just gives you, it's a second TC, right? So that's why you see the pros open. They're both doing the same build here, right? Where they're both just opening dock. And yes, like the fish will eventually run out, right? These shoreline fish will get fully depleted. They eventually will run out. So you don't want to invest too many fishing boats, right? He's not going to make like 10 fishing boats, but they will last a good amount of time, right? It'll buff your economy in the early portion very significantly. So, he might make like 4 fishing boats or 5 fishing boats, maybe 3. But he's not going to make like 10 fishing boats. So it'll be interesting to pay attention to see how many fishing boats they make. They'll probably go like, if I had to guess, I mean, deep fish last quite a while. I don't know. I guess I would say like 5. I think they might make 5 fishing boats. Maybe, depending on how quickly we want to get up to H3 and all that. It's tough to see. It'll be interesting to see if they make the exact same number of fishing boats or not. But I feel like 5 would be a number that would probably make sense. So Marine Lord is queuing up a 4th. And then Marine Lord, yeah, he's smart. Like, he knows his map. The villager is extremely far from TC, so Marine Lord is... no, this is Wham. Wham is using his scout to attack the bill, which this is good. It's giving him value. This villager is just going to have to go back home eventually, and the bill won't be gathering from shorefish. It's going to have a lot of idle time just walking back home. And if the villager doesn't go back home, then the villager will die. So it just makes sense to attack the bill, right? And as you're seeing, both players are doing this. I think Wham is playing a little bit better in the fact that he started attacking the bill a lot sooner. So now this villager is going to get idled much sooner. And then Marine Lord, you probably noticed, is like, oh, hey, it's a good idea. You should attack the bill, right? So Marine Lord's just copying it, Obviously, one player might have a little more scouted than the other, but it's more important to attack the villain. And now this villain's idled, right? He's not gathering resources at the 3-minute mark, and yeah, nice little value there. You know, the villain won't die, or it should not die, right? He's a pro player, so and then the villain is very low HP, so you can maybe try to snipe this villain later on. But yep, basically you just force the villain to walk all the way back. And yep, and there we are. So Wham did 4 fishing boats, and now aging up with the chapel, with 5 villas, building a chapel on top of gold mine, on top of sheep, and on top of wood line. You probably don't want the berries anyways. You're gonna be on hunt for you're gonna be on the fish for quite a bit of time, and the sheep. So you could have maybe built it a little bit over where like the gold mine's still in range. But no, the chap was also a drop-off source, so he doesn't have to build a mining camp. He can just gather from this gold mine without the mining camp. So yeah, perfect chapel placement. You know, the best you can get with this spawn. He could. I wonder if he would have built it here, if it still could have got the sheep in the radius and then had more of the wood line in the radius. Might have been a little better actually. Yeah, that might have been a little better if the chapel was built right here, because it would have perhaps got a bigger portion of the forest, still been on the gold, and still, yeah, probably that would have been better, and it still would have been on the sheep, and it would have had more room for farms later down the road. It's a small thing, but and it kind of would give you more line of sight, like opponents attacking potentially. So yeah, I probably could have built it a little. I think here would have been a little bit better. Alright, so let's see. How many fishing boats did they do? So Wen is on 5 fishing boats, basically just as I said, and Marine Lord's on exactly 5. So, oh, Marine Lord is making a 6. So that's interesting. Oh, the deep fish, did it already get, or it's at 840. I'm going to pay attention to how quickly this gets depleted. Alright, so what is the follow-up here? The HRE versus OTD. So, Marine Lord also building... Ooh, this is kind of a mistake, I think, from Marine Lord. He built a mining camp. I'm not a fan of this. I like Wham's better, where he just used the chapel as a drop-off building for gold, especially it's a small gold mine. Maybe this is a tougher spawn for Marine Lord, where like he can't fit. Well, if there's no mining camp, he could have put it right here, and it would have been a drop-off source. Yeah, this is wasted wood. Building a mining camp that's a waste. He could have built the chapel like right here, or even right here, basically the same thing as I was saying. Yeah, so you're seeing the pro players, best players in the world, just kind of make weird mistakes. Like, yeah, there's no reason to have this. You can always move the sheep, you know, make sure they're obviously underneath the radius, but yeah, don't like the mining camp. Not a fan of that. All right, so we got 5 fishing boats. Ooh, and then we do got some warships coming out. This will be interesting because. I think maybe they do both make a fishing boat. It depends how good the dock arrow slit emplacement is. Where is that? So you can add a defensive arrow slit to this dock, which only attacks ships. It depends on the range, because right now my thought process is maybe it's better to not make any warships and you just upgrade this, and then your fishing boats are protected and they cannot get shot. But it's going to depend on the range of how far out that goes, because maybe the enemy warships can. They probably would still be able to attack, I guess, because even if they're getting hit by the dock emplacement, maybe they could just attack for a bit, deal low HP, then get healed. You probably do need to make warships. Yeah, it's something you'd have to test. These players probably have tested it and probably just came to the conclusion that you do have to make some warships just so that your fishing boats can safely gather. So yeah, they both open with the galley. I think both of the players will play defensive. Like, I'm kind of surprised Wham. I'm surprised Wham is attacking here. Like I said, defensive gameplay, it's just so good in AoE 4. Kind of in all RTS games, like, defender advantage is going to be good, but especially in AoE 4, defender's advantage is so good. Like, just look at this trade, right? Both have the same unit attacking each other, like, and one person can just get his ship healed up way sooner, and the other person has to walk way further back. Like, it's just really not smart by Wham. I think what Wham was doing is he was thinking that, oh, maybe Marine Lord won't make a warship, and then I can attack the fishing boats. But I think once Wham sees that, oh, he did make a warship, he should have just backed up immediately. Because now it's taking longer for his galley to get healed up to max, right? And he's probably going to be okay. This will probably get max health before the next engage, but still, maybe not, right? And we do have a demo. He could kind of scout, see if there's a window to attack now, but I think he notices, like, okay, this guy's probably just making an army, so let's see, yeah. 5 fishing boats from Wham, and Marine Lord went on 6, which I like this. I think 6 is better than 5. Yeah, obviously you're basically going a little more greedy, and you're not gonna. Your plan is to not attack and just defend, and outgreed your opponent, which is just always good in AoE 4. Interesting to see that he builds another dock. This is surprising to me, honestly. Oh, I think he had to delete one shoreline fish spot too, so there's only a single shoreline fish spot. Maybe he's just. I think he's maybe just trying to win water. I kind of forget how water works exactly in AoE4. I believe deep fish, they will regenerate. So this is at 400, like 500 food out of 1,000. It will disappear, but I think after a certain amount of time it comes back. And so there essentially will always be 1,000 food. So that's relevant. If it lasts forever, that's big. And then shoreline fish, once they're depleted, they never return. But I believe all deep fish do return over time, which then makes water very good forever. Right? If you could always have like 5 or 6 fishing boats on the deep fish spot for the whole game, that's quite relevant, and it's kind of worth fighting water for. So, yeah, Marine Lord's going all in on like winning water. Like he wants to keep these 5 fishing boats on deep fish forever, which is interesting to see. And we're seeing Wham is not having that thought process. Wham is like, okay, I'm just making the fishing boats just to like boost my eco, and then I'm trying to race up to H3. And I'm just gonna plan for like to get off of the fish economy. Like my plan is to just get off of the fish economy as the fish start running out. Which is probably the incorrect choice, I guess. He's already farming, which doesn't feel good. Maybe the chapel could have been built closer to the berries and gathered chapel berries, but yeah, interesting to see Marine Lord going all out fighting for the what the hell? This doesn't make any sense, right? Like this shouldn't make any sense. Sheep gather at the same exact rate as farms, and he built 2 farms when he's got like 12 sheep. I think this is like a weird. This is maybe just like a weird player trait where like, oh, you add a couple farms so they exist forever, and you're kind of on food longer, and it's just like makes the game easier, but it's not efficient. Like it doesn't. I don't know. It kind of doesn't really make sense. But I mean, maybe if you just can't spend the wood at your docks, I don't know. I don't like these farms. I think this is something that's not optimal, but just like feels better, comfortable. It maybe makes the game easier for you, but it's not as optimal. Alright, and yeah, it basically just looks like Marine Lord just played to win water. Hulk does... Oh, the Hulk does go down, barely. And he did get the emplacement tower. So yeah, Wham played for more like emplacement tower and defense, which I do like the emplacement tower. That was good. I kind of like his plan. He maybe should have just stayed H2 a little bit longer if he had a little more warships. Yeah, he does kill the Hulk though. Yeah, I mean I do like the emplacement arrow a lot. But his fishing boats aren't gathering at the same time. That's the tough part. You know, he's got 6 fishing boats gathering from deep fish. It was just so good. Oh yeah, you can't just like pretty easily repair it. You gotta be on top of your micro. But yeah, that leads like the Hulk to getting sniped. Yeah, I mean the defensive. It's so hard to kill docks in AoE 4. Like it's actually like insanely difficult to kill docks. Now he can pop out the bills. But with this, the Marine Lord is gathering more food, so his eco's been better, and he's now building the Ragnets himself. Oh wow, Wham's barely just aging now too. Why did it feel like he was so closer to age up? Damn, that's rough. They're like aging at the exact same time, but yeah, one person was down on bills a little bit. I mean, it's still very even at the moment, I guess. Yeah. And this wall wasn't worth it, you know, at that given. Yeah, just slowed stuff down a little bit. Alright, so here's the deep fish spot. It's about to get depleted. We got 6 fishing boats. And let's see what happens as this gets depleted. So one guy's going Regnus, one guy's going Burgrave. But Burgrave, I don't know if it makes sense here. Or, well, actually no, I think Or the Dragon just generated those two Burgrave, right? But I don't think it's a great landmark in this situation where like he doesn't have a whole lot of food. Alright, so the deep fish spot, it gets fully depleted, and these fishing boats go idle. And so it's interesting. It does stay on. I think this got changed at some points in AoE 4 life. So the deep fish spot remains like on the map, but it just has 0 food. Oh man, I should take a note. So it was like just before the 10-minute mark. It was like maybe 9:50, 9:55. Oh, and then it already is back up to 50. So I think the move here is that players will take all their fishing boats off of the deep fish, let it get fully remaxed, and in the meantime, you then gather from the shorefish. So with that said, like fish last really long actually, even if it's a single deep fish spot, because you never gather from the shorefish first. You always gather from the deep fish, and you gather 1,000 food, which is a significant amount, and it's gonna eventually replenish. And as you're waiting for it to replenish, you're still going from shorefish, which is like 18, almost 2,000 food in shorefish. So like that's a lot of fish. That's gonna take a while to deplete this, you know, even though this won't come back. So yeah, you can have like 6 fishing boats gathering forever. Like, yeah, I mean, it'll get a little rougher once these finally get depleted, and then you're only on this, but still, you'll have 6 fishing boats gather for an extremely long time. Oh, gold mine ran out. The smaller golds going on to his next gold. Really love that they're experimenting more with the smaller gold mines. It's one thing I always said. People that don't know, I used to be on the AoE 4 balance team before the game launched, and I brought it up before where I told the other balance testers like, oh, we should, oh, you know, I guess I could say it's whatever. I brought up that like, oh, we should reduce gold mines. Like, there's way too much gold. Like, you can go imp on like your starting gold, and it's like you can get to the end game on your starting gold. And trivia fact, people that probably played like the early beta, I think maybe in the early beta, gold mines, they used to have 5k gold. So now gold mines have 4k. The gold mines, they used to be 5k, and then you know how like big golds have 8k? Big golds used to have 10k. So I think that was one of the changes that pretty much happened because of me, because like I suggested it. Maybe the other balance testers would have suggested that at some point. But I think that was a very good change, right? It took it from 5k to 4k, and then 10k to 8k. But even there, I think I was kind of pushing to reduce it more, and like the other guys were like, "Oh, let's reduce it by 1,000 and then see." But realistically, I do think 4,000 gold is too much, like on all maps, because like you really can get to like imp and like end game on 4K gold, and you know if you play games like Age of Mythology or like AoE 3 or AoE 2, like usually you have to like move out on the map way sooner for gold mines. Like gold starving is a term used in those games where like you try to prevent your player from getting on gold mines, but in AoE 4, like it really doesn't work like that. Like gold starving is like something you do in like imp to like at the 30-minute mark, so that a player can't make gold units forever and like get all the upgrades. But like gold starving, it honestly it doesn't exist in AoE 4 and H2. And I think that's a big mistake. It's kind of a design flaw. And one of the things, you know, I think like the EGC or map makers started noticing this, and they started making some maps where the starting gold mine only has 1,600. And that's very cool because now it kind of gives maps different identity. And that when maps only have 1,600, now like gold starving in map control, it becomes more relevant. And also one of the things in AoE 4 map, like defensive gameplay is just way too good. Right? I've said it so many times. Like map control is just not relevant in AoE 4 compared to other RTS games. But having the maps where gold mines have only 1,600 gold instead of 4K, it makes its map control a little more important. So that's very cool to see. And yeah, and then that's to circle back in this conversation. Yeah, if I could change things, honestly, I would still suggest to the balance testers eliminate 4K golds. 4K golds should not exist. Like, change the 4K gold to a 3K gold. I think would be way better. You could have, yeah, you could have it be, you know, right now it's 4K gold and 8K golds. You could have it be a 3K gold and 6K gold. I think would be way, way better for AoE 4. It would reward map control way more. And then still keep the maps that have like the 1600 gold, keep those at like the 1600. Because that kind of pushes the gold star sooner and gives some more map identity to those maps. But yeah, they should get rid of 4K golds like all throughout the entire game. Just change it to 3K. Like even 3K gold is like a lot. You know, like you could probably get to imp and like end game on 3K gold. It's like 4K. I think is just like way too much to have as a starting gold mine. Like way too much. All right, so we have relics being brought in. Those little side tangents. Yeah, relics being brought in here for Marine Lord. 2 relics dropped off. The GUA trivia. So see, you know, when you watch my replays, casted games, not only do you get casted games, but you get some trivia points. You get some trivia questions, I should say. All right, and then on this map, it has all the hunt, a ton of hunt on like the edge of the map here. You could technically pro scout and bring this in, or you could go for it if your fish start getting depleted or running very low. Alright, got some warships crossing the map again here for Marine Lord. Marine Lord gonna see if he can do damage. Look at that fishing spot. Deep fish, not a 200, so yeah, you just kind of will go through the few shoreline fish spots and then get to that deep fish spot eventually. Alright, he is idling the fishing boats, which is really good here. Like, even if you don't kill any fishing boats or kill a warship, you can just do this every so often, and there's not really, your warships aren't really under threat. Now that demos come out, now they are, but he was able to idle the eco for some time, and then just pull these back and get them fully healed, so. Alright, so looking at Wham, he's now mixing in farms underneath the chapel. He's gathering from the berries. Some of those are slightly buffed, looks like. Did he have a prelate over there? And so he is on the Burgrave, making spearmen, and he's going 1-1-1, adding archer range and a stable. And okay, now he's making his way out on the hunts, and he's kind of forced to do this first because he hasn't been on food as long as Marine Lord has. So Marine Lord has gathered way more food and fish, which kind of delayed his farm transition or his like food switch. Like he's not going out on the far hunt. He is adding in more farms, but he has gathered more total food, you know, and fish. And interesting to see Marine Lord does go back to the deep fish before it's like fully repopulated. I mean, it was at like 250, and then he just decided to go back onto it. I mean, yeah, kind of makes sense, I guess. Start gathering better food sooner. He could have just let it fully get remaxed and continued on these, but not super relevant one way or the other. Alright, but yeah, Wham is going on this hunt, but I mean, I do like this actually. It's like only 6 bills, and there's a lot of deer, so you can gather from these deer for a very long time. So that's, I like that. And build a tower, get a little map vision, kind of like lock down this AK gold a little bit for later down the road. Well, we got a 3 Ragnets, 3 relic Ragnets ticking away here, which is quite good. And then just adding kind of mixed army count here. We got a lot of knights crossbows, and some barracks in. Still continuing to be active with the scout, trying to see like what army composition Wham might be making. Is that just a fishing boat, trying to snipe as many fishing boats as possible here. Yep, and yeah, just he basically won water, and it's interesting in AoE 4. This is another like civ design thing that I don't like, honestly, but it's whatever. This is one reason why I'm not a big fan of water in AoE 4. But in AoE 4, like you don't win water by killing docks, which is weird on like every other AIDS game ever made. But like you win water, it's just 'cause docks are like impossible to kill, or they're just like so hard to kill, right? with like demos and the emplacement tower and how little work boats do to docks. Like it's like impossible to kill a dock. So what in other age games, winning water looks like destroying all the docks. That's what winning water means. But in AoE 4, what winning water means is like only allowing the fishing boats to gather from the fish right next to the dock, and like decreasing the number of fishing boats he can have. Um, which is kind of weird, but yeah, it is what it is, right? It's not worth like a massive investment for Marine Lord to kill this dock. Like you'd have to spend so much warships, make so many warships to clear the dock, and then like another dock could get built super cheaply. Like, yeah, it's a strange thing that it's one reason, like I said, I'm not a big fan of water in Age of Empires 4. It just kind of doesn't make sense, honestly. And it goes against like what the other Age games do. Alright, so you got lots of farms going down here. Yeah, it's just like 3 relics and Ragnar's, obviously quite good for Marine Lord. Look at that gold accumulating. He's at the point where like he probably just needs to like buy resources because his gold is just accumulating so fast, and like you don't really use a ton of gold on units. And it's interesting that he got the gold upgrade. He probably shouldn't have got that. I mean, maybe it's okay. But when you get a lot of relics with HRE, you usually just like never get the gold upgrades, or you delay them for very long because you're gonna have 0 villagers on gold. So why are you like investing resources into getting the gold upgrade? But he might have got that in H2 so that he could win like the warship game, the warship fight. Yeah, 1-1. Alright, yep, Marine Lord, I mean, just 3 relics, right? Like, he's just kind of had the better equal this whole game. His fishing boats have been gathering more efficiently. He's on 3 Regnant relics compared to 0 relics. Just gonna outscale Wham. Like, over time, it's just getting better and better for Marine Lord. Like, Wham was on a clock much more where, Wham kind of had to make something happen. But he, just basically couldn't, make anything happen with his army. Yeah, not much to it. Marine Lord, just way bigger army, way better eco. Yeah, not a whole lot to say here. He's like, Marine Lord doesn't have to fight. Like, Marine Lord could easily just never fight and let this game go in. But he just has like such a huge lead. It's like, well, why not? You could probably still get good trades and like better trades. So he kind of can just do like anything and win this game. And yep, use the big fight here. But yeah, Marine Lord just has a better army while also having like the way better eco. So it's pretty commanding lead here. And yeah, not much to say, right? They trade armies a bit. Marine Lord comes out on top, and there's GG. Yeah, that's it. Alright, leave a comment if you want. I'm making a ton of YouTube videos, putting a ton of effort into YouTube, and I am trying different video styles. Like, right, I'm making some commentary, so I don't know what I'm gonna make. Basically, it's based off of what you guys tell me to make. If I see a certain video pop off and do really good, I'll make videos like that. If I see a lot of people leaving comments and liking a video, then I'll make more videos like that. So if you want to see more commentary like this, breaking down pro level play very in-depthly, let me know. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.